Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Pinch yourself. Addie Bates is producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. The Los Angeles Lakers are not far away from a complete playoff fall apart. The Detroit Pistons, in a series that has been gross. Gross is not a bad thing. It's just the way to explain the series. In a series that has been gross, the Detroit Pistons are still alive. Last night in the National Hockey League, I was there. I was on site. I decided, I'm the idiot of the day. I'll tell you that off the rip on today's show. I am the idiot of the day because I thought, how fun would it be if I fly from New York City, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. I'm in the Uber on the way to the airport, and I'm stuck in traffic for an extra amount of time because the King of England is stopping all traffic in New York. This is 18 hours ago. And I thought, I remembered us fighting a war. I remember George Washington being the president. Well, I mean, not he was leading the war. I remember him leading the war in the United States being formed against Great Britain, against England. And now I have to sit in traffic and be late to the airport because the King of England is here, and that's a good thing? And we're catering to him? Did we not win a war over this? Get to JFK, hop on a flight. I'm in Las Vegas. I went to a prestigious local joint on the Strip. That's right, floor 4 of the Outback Steakhouse, which, very funny, advertises on the front of the Outback Steakhouse, best view of the Strip in all of Las Vegas. All right, I got to check that out.
You get a bloomin' onion?
I did not get a bloomin' onion. You think I'm basic? Hell no, Curtis. Welcome to the show. I got layered cheese fries, Aussie cheese fries, with the damn spicy ranch or whatever it is. Taking shots from the front and the back, whatever it is. And then I got the bone-in ribeye. And then I walked across the street to see the Las Vegas Golden Knights against the Utah Mammoth. And I've never regretted anything more. Not because the hockey was bad. The hockey was electric. It was the hockey was too good last night. Dorofeyev, a hat trick. And that hat trick sent us into overtime, which then led to a double overtime. And you cannot get to a second overtime without the first overtime. Oh, but we did. I did not get home. I did not get to my hotel from this Mammoth Golden Knights game until 12:30 local time. It is now 3 o'clock, 3:03 and 48 seconds Pacific time. But you bet your ass. And boy, did I wake up with some fervor today. You listen to that. I want you to listen. I want you to sit where you are in your car. I want you to sit where you are in your car. Just outside of Dallas, Texas. Taking in the beautiful views of Abbott, that little community known for Willie Nelson. Which Abbott's I think an hour from Dallas. You're outside. We're all outside of Dallas. You boil it. I want you to sit there and just... That's caffeine. That's what's going to happen the next 3 hours. Caffeine-filled, energy-riddled sports. It is the Drake Toll Show. Last night was playoff hockey at its finest. We can't start there. I don't want to start there. We'll get there. But I want you to know what my last 9 hours have looked like. And how half of those 9 hours were filled with elite-level hockey so that I can bring to you on the Drake Toll Show for the next 3 hours a first-hand account of how damn good sports are. This is America. This is America to the point where the guy sitting to my right, who possible idiot of the day, he goes, I don't really get it. And I said, what? It is 6:57. The puck drops at 7:10. What do you not get? They're just showing videos on the Jumbotron of fans who have scanned the QR code to get on the... What do you not get? And he says, I think it's kind of stupid they have the Canadian flag up there. What's that for? My God. Well, probably because the NHL is mostly Canadian, and there are multiple teams in the National Hockey League from Canada. And you know what this guy said? You know what he said to me? He said, yeah, but this is America. And what I felt in my loins in that moment, for the first time in a long time, I felt bald eagle, Sam Adams, a lake somewhere in Minnesota. I felt the United States. And how incredible it is to be alive today in the NBA postseason, in the NHL postseason, and alive for whatever the hell it was LeBron was doing last night. That's where I want to start. By the way, the Drake Toll Show is free and available wherever you get your podcast. So if you don't listen to the full 3 hours, or if you live in a Dallas, Texas, or a Houston, at some point your local programming comes on, and those guys are great. You love them. They joke around. They're funny. You listen to them for years, but you think, yeah, I could listen to the Drake Toll Show for a little bit longer. The Westwood One Sports app is the way to do that, or live on video on the Drake Toll Show's YouTube page or the Drake Toll Show on Twitter. I am coming to you live from the inside of a boa constrictor, but its skin is reversed. I'm not really sure what's happening behind me, but it is one of the backgrounds of all time today. I can promise you that.
Keep the blinds
closed. To deliver
closed.
you the news. They are the blinds. The blinds stay closed. This is to deliver you the news that last night, the Lakers, who are the worst of the two teams in the series against the Rockets, displayed that fact again. LeBron James, inability to shoot from deep. LeBron James, 41 years old, being too old to facilitate a series, to close out a series, that is rearing its ugly head. It's rearing its bald head. 99-93, the final score, the Rockets over the Lakers. I watched pretty much all of this game, and it is clear to me that LeBron cannot do it by himself, whereas in the first 3 games, all I heard from you and from other sources, like, man, LeBron James has proved he's the GOAT, man. LeBron James is the GOAT. He's going to win this series by himself. No Austin Reeves, no Luka Doncic. Well, last night, Austin Reeves came back. Now what? The Lakers lost at home, by the way. And this is the same Lakers. He played 34 minutes off the bench, scored 22 points. 4 for 16 shooting. Austin Reeves was not good. I won't pretend he was good. But remember how LeBron could do it all by himself? And they're going to be even better when Austin Reeves comes back? Better my ass. It was a quote from Jabari Smith somewhere around the beginning of this series, a couple games ago maybe. Can't quite pinpoint it. Where he said, dog, we're the better team of these two teams. We're the better squad. Oh, and by the way, we don't need, that's with or without Kevin Durant. And KD did not play for the Rockets last night. So can you riddle me this, Batman? The Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James, who you told me in the first 3 games of this series, was back to his old self. He's young again. He's youthful. LeBron James gets Austin Reeves back. The Rockets lose Kevin Durant, a top 10 National Basketball Association player of all time. And the Rockets win that game on the road. Can you riddle me that? What I need to communicate to you about this series, what I need to communicate to you about the Lakers, is that if we are going to spend 3 games telling you LeBron James is the greatest athlete to ever grace this earth, then the last 2 games he cannot be exonerated from the truth. And that truth is, drum roll please, Curtis.
Big Gooner.
Per Adam Schefter, LeBron James is old. Fourth quarter, he had a surge last night in the fourth quarter. But him playing a full 4 quarters of basketball, 4, 5, 6 games deep into a series, you're not going to get that. You didn't get it last night. 3-pointers coming up short. His inability to knock down the long ball, which has not been a strong suit of his career. But by the way, LeBron going 0 for 6 from 3, if he makes a couple of those, Your 99-93 loss to the Houston Rockets might not be a loss anymore. But the Lakers looked lethargic. A great game, incredible game from DeAndre Ayton. 18 points, 7 boards last night. That was top notch. There were highlights for the Lakers. Reeves putting up 22, going 12 for 13 from the free throw line. That stat's good, 12 for 13 from the free throw line. But losing at home to a Rockets team that is quietly, like we haven't covered this series a ton because I thought the Lakers were just going to run away with it, that I was feeding into these LeBron storylines, that he's the GOAT, he's the best, nobody else can beat LeBron. I was feeding into all of that. I was believing it. Now that we're really visiting this, gosh, man, I am not watching a LeBron James, a Lakers team that is contending with Austin Reeves, without Luka Doncic, with Luka Doncic, without Austin Reeves, whatever conglomerate you want to put on the floor. I'm not watching a contender in the LA Lakers. Before we blitz, I don't know if you know this. Today, look, after 2 hours of sleep, thanks to my friends, the Utah Mammoth, I don't know if you know this or have noticed, but every 15 minutes we take a commercial break. Every 15 minutes you hear from our valued sponsors. So I'm a couple minutes short of that. And before we hit our first break, I can't escape that. I can't get out of you. I can't get out of this without telling you. No bonk there. Thanks, Curtis. I can't get out of this without telling you how incredible Paolo Banchero and Cade Cunningham both were last night. How great of a game we got in a contest where I told you that the Detroit Pistons season was over, that I thought last night was going to go the way of the Magic, who they did cover, and they had plenty of opportunities to win this game. They held Detroit 23 points in the third quarter, so the early offensive onslaught from the Pistons was not, it did not hold. The Magic were still in this game, and Paolo Banchero dropped 45 points just for Cade Cunningham to drop 45 points. Cunningham has proven in his NBA career now that the number 1 overall pick was not wasted on Cade Cunningham. He can lead a team to be damn good at basketball. Contender, that the jury's out. Orlando had a mulligan. They still have an opportunity to win the series and the leg up to win the series. But Cunningham has proven to be a star. He can lead a team. Hey, you didn't waste your lottery pick on me. That you can't really say that about Paolo. You can't really say that, oh man, this was just a world-beating, game-changing, top-tier NBA star that the Orlando Magic drafted. Not yet, you can't. But then he drops 45 points last night. Problem with that is the Magic did lose the game 116-109, and I told you the Pistons would not beat the Magic, and the Pistons didn't really beat the Magic. Cade Cunningham beat Paolo Banchero. That was the story in a game that finished 116-109 in a series where we have been allergic to teams scoring in the triple digits, where we have been addicted to low scoring, I'm going to say it, muck it up style of basketball. Last night, the guys finally ran. Everybody decided to go fast. And the Pistons scoring 23 points in the third quarter, it wasn't detrimental because the Magic only scored 19. That was the only quarter of the game where we regressed to the mean of this series, where we went right back to, oh man, this is boring basketball again. This is just defense, turnovers, and missed shots. And for Cunningham, who's been historically bad turning the ball over in this series. Last night, Cade Cunningham, only 6 turnovers, which is less than the 8 and 9 that he's been putting up in this series. 6 is not good by any means. Paolo also had 6. Cunningham beat the Orlando Magic, and more specifically, beat Paolo Banchero. As heard on Prime Video last night, Cade and Paolo both hit 45 points in the fourth quarter of this contest.
Get it in, Banchero. He fires. Nylon!
Oh, my gosh. 6 made threes, 45 points.
6 to shoot. Cunningham shake and bake. Cunningham fires. Oh, yeah!
Doesn't get much better than that. Both of those guys playing their best basketball in the fourth quarter especially. Banchero went off in the fourth quarter. Wasn't enough. Detroit wins it by a final score of 116-109 over the Orlando Magic. And hey, there was the third game played in the NBA last night that we have not talked about this series, and I am not apologetic in the slightest. The Cleveland Cavaliers take a 3-2 lead over the Raptors, 125-120 the final score last night. Toronto scored 17 points. That's right, 17 points in the fourth quarter. Problem is, I don't see either of these teams, namely with the way the Magic have played overall in their series, I don't see either of these teams, the Raptors or the Cavs, as a genuine threat, a legitimate threat. I think similar to how in hockey the Mammoth and the Golden Knights are playing for fun, they're playing slap ass, just hanging out because neither of them are contenders. Let's have a fun series and shake hands at the end. That's what the Cavs and the Raptors are doing. I have not been inclined to talk about that. But damn, last night's game was awesome. I had it on in the hotel room. I watched it. As awesome as it was, it doesn't make either of these teams contenders. But that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about them all day today because we have 3 hours together. Buckle up, lock it in. Addy Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we return, I want to take you onto the ice. Last night in Las Vegas, I saw something incredible. By the way, got a text on the text line today. Said, Embiid delivering my nice payday outright. 76ers win against the spread. Surely we'll get there. 310-840-4910. You can get in on the action. 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day of judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sick.
Touch yourself.
Bananas.
I was taking shots from the front and the back.
The Gooner.
Good morning! You ever think you're up way too early? You ever sit there, you're in your car right now in Dallas traffic, in Detroit traffic, you're in Boston. Damn, you should have taken the T. Yeah, no kidding. You think, I'm up way too early for this.
Me every day.
6:23 and 38 seconds Eastern time? And you're awake? What's this all for? What's this all about? I was in an Uber recently. This is my favorite philosophical Uber because I was in that Uber. I told you guys about this. This was a month ago. I was in Sacramento, California. I get in the Uber, and the Uber driver's like, man, I just can't take it no more. I was like, this is going to be good. Come on, lay it out there, big hoss. What do you got? What's going on? What's going on in your life? He's like, man, gas prices are going up. Man, there's this takeover of the Muslims. I was like, oh, no. Okay, you lost me there. I was with you with gas prices. I really thought like we're going somewhere with this, and then you took it way too far. He's like, but that's the thing is the reason it's just gotten too crazy around here, and there's one reason why. I was like, okay, Sacramento, California. He doesn't like Muslim people for some reason. What? He's mad about the gas prices. So what could possibly be the reason that Sacramento, California is going to hell? And this Uber driver says, I think the one reason, man, and I mean it, it's got to be Mamdani. What? I had chills in that moment where my Sacramento, California Uber driver was convincing me that Zoran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, is the reason that Sacramento is on the decline. That has been one of the most entertaining Ubers of my life now, career. But I had a good one 4 or 5 days ago with the lady in Dallas, Texas. She was 40. She looked much younger than I was surprised to find out she was 40. And she said, do you ever think we're just a cog in the machine? I was like, oh, man, we've got 23 minutes to the airport, baby. This is going to be good. I was like, you know what? Yeah, sometimes I do think that. She's like, we're just paying taxes to the big man. And then one day we die. It's like, we are paying taxes to the big man. Uncle Sam likes those. And we do all die someday. And you know what she said? She said, and here's the craziest part, is we work and we work and we work. And she lived in Germany for a bit and said that in Germany they value time off. She said, we work and we work and we work and we work. And then when we die, when we quit, when we stop working, when we retire, they just replace us. Ba-ba-da-da. So you ever wake up and you think, man, it's too early. What am I doing up today? This is Mamdani's fault. Maybe that one is Mamdani's fault. Maybe he's the reason you had to be up so early. I want you to think alongside of that. Like, yeah, let's all come together right now. And Curtis, the bonk, please. Thank you. And realize that yeah, we are hurtling ever quickly toward the sun, where we will certainly disintegrate. In the words of Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development, you let him go in the sun. So there has to be something in between conception and the whole burning up in the sun thing, where we have a reason, right? And there are plenty, but let me tell you one of mine: sports, the playoffs, hockey, NBA, football. Hell, I even watch soccer sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit it. That's what keeps me going. That's why I'm okay being a cog in the machine. That's why I'm fine with Mamdani and him raising my gas prices in Sacramento, California. I'm fine with all that because you and I get to walk into this show together and talk about sports for the rest of the day, and I love that. Addie Bates produces. She helps talk about those sports. Curtis Poindexter does not help talk about those sports whatsoever. Please do not get that confused. But he's here, sniffing around, privates investigator. Anytime we have privates to be investigated, that's his role. Blip! Yes, Nitro! Curtis is nostril deep in that guy's crotch. Wait a second, Blip. That's the mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani. Oh, Curtis. He's at it again. It's the buddy cop movie. Curtis somehow is the third cop, not one of the buddies. Not a buddy in the cop
Big Gooner
family tree here. He's the nonverbal privates investigator
We
detective
keeping a buck right now, we ass.
who can smell anything within a mile away. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. And last night, I made one of the decisions of all time.
Touch yourself.
To go to a 10 Eastern time puck drop. 10:15. We keep doing that in sports. We keep advertising one thing and then doing another. 10:15 is when the puck actually dropped. It was the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth. Addie, good morning. Say it again. Curtis didn't have you up.
Good morning. How are you?
She didn't say anything. That's why we didn't hear anything. She's busy laughing at me.
Yeah.
In my defense,
Big
that was
Gooner.
my fault. Okay, you know what? It was my fault, and that is what we call in the industry bad. Okay.
That
Thank you
really
for stealing
buttered
a
my
lot out of my
biscuit when you
book
said
there.
that.
Okay, can we all stop quoting me, please? Can we not?
Touch
Curtis,
yourself.
good morning. I'm sorry for bullying you.
Bully me.
You know what happens if you bully him? You want to know what happens?
I know what happens if I bully Curtis. I know what happens if I bully
from
Curtis.
the front and the back.
It really butters his biscuit.
I know neither of you watched the Mammoth and Knights game, so I'm excited to tell you about it. 'Cause my first question I have before we jump into this: do you like what I've done with the place? Do you enjoy the backdrop that I've crafted for you today?
I actually do. I do. It really does
you.
give Las Vegas like strip hotel or casino or.
Bright lights.
You look like some boots they'd sell at a swap meet.
Set my soul on fire. We got into another Uber yesterday, and
Your
Jose
flex, but okay.
said into the Waymo, and Jose said, "You guys are here for work." We said, "Yeah, we're here for work." He said, "Bitcoin." Like, no,
You kind of
not
do look
Bitcoin.
like a crypto guy.
And he said, "Bitcoin's here this week," and I thought, the hell does that mean? Bitcoin's here this week?
Bit on that thing.
Yeah, Bitcoin's in Las Vegas. Hawk Tug. Maybe Grimace is going to save the Mets. Brain rot BS. All right, thanks, you two. You can go back to sleep. Last night, the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth were awesome. Playoff hockey just rocks. And so I got to take some friends of mine who had not seen playoff hockey before and witness it with them. And what I was most blown away by was the Vegas crowd. You walk into the arena at T-Mobile, and yeah, the first 15 minutes that you're there, you're watching the video board, and it's and it's just videos and pictures of fans. Please scan the QR code, and you can be featured on the video board. It's the same damn thing you've seen everywhere else. But then everything flipped with 2 minutes before puck drop. More than that. 5 minutes before puck drop. It was just a dude started counting down. 10, 9. Like, whoa, what's it counting for? What's happening here? The lights go out. Fire shoots off. There is a knight on the ice. Just a dude with a whole ass sword and another guy with a sword. And they skate around each other and toward each other. And then good guy knight kills bad guy knight. Awesome. Video displayed on the ice, video displayed on the video board. They're shooting fire out of fire cannons in the rafters of this building. Then you turn to your right, and there's a massive dragon sticking out of a castle, and it's breathing fire. Or maybe it wasn't breathing fire. I don't know. I was so overstimulated, I couldn't tell you what was happening. And then the ice girls come out, and then the drum line comes out, and then the mascot it's a knight with a sword, and he's banging the shield, and it was intimidating as hell. My only regret is that the players weren't on the ice for it. It was the coolest production that I've seen at a professional sports game. I was blown away by the Golden Knights. For them to have to compete with Cirque du Soleil, for them to have to compete with Piff, the Magic Dragon, for them to have to compete with Wayne Brady, I think Wayne Brady has a residency in Vegas on the Strip. For them to have to compete with that, the Vegas Golden Knights did a damn good job of it. And then when it came to the actual hockey, man, I thought Vegas was a far more physical team. Vegas was physical enough that although I do not believe that Las Vegas or Utah, that either of them are contenders, man, Vegas is physical enough. Then when it comes to playing against, down the road against an Avalanche, they'll hit you. They may not win, but they'll hit you. It was Dorofeyev with a hat trick. And I've got all the goals right here for you on TNT. Goal number 1 tied our game at a goal apiece.
Spins away from Stenley. Try to work it to the front. Looking to connect with Hurdle on his second attempt. Chopped away from him. Dorofeyev scores!
If you listened really hard enough, if you listened really closely, you could hear me in the distance going, yeah! On my third Stella Artois. Zonked off that Stella last night. Only for the Mammoth to go up 2-1 on the Golden Knights. And guess who it is? Dorofeyev. His second goal of the game ties us up in the second period.
Utah nearly a steal by Stenlund. Gathered in by Theodore. He'll race down to the goal line. Center. Score! Dorofeyev!
Yeah. Again, you could hear me. Wow. Dorofeyev, you're my favorite. First period, down by a goal, Dorofeyev ties it. Second period, down by a goal, Dorofeyev ties it. You bet your candy apple ass. The third period rolls around. It's 4-3. We are inside of a minute to play in this contest. Vegas has pulled the goalie. You need a miracle or you're going to fall in the series 3-2. You're going to go down 3-2 in the series. And who but Dorofeyev with a hat trick.
The third, Vegas trailing by 1. Theodore across, Eichel shot, save, rebound, score! Dorofeyev!
Enters, and it's Eichel with the shot. And right on the spot, it's Dorofeyev, his third of the night.
Jack Eichel with a shooting mentality. Riley Smith occupying space in a defender. Pavel Dorofeyev becoming...
Dorofeyev, great, love that. Dorofeyev, the hat trick. And Pavel was done for the night. He was good. That's all he needed. He continued to play, but his goal scoring only needed 3. 3 was good enough. Send you to overtime. And here's the funny thing about hockey you might not know. I grew up in Arkansas. I didn't watch hockey. It was madness for the rich people. If no one scores in the first overtime, it's the playoffs. So we go to a second overtime. Whew. So a game that could have ended at 9:27 local time, it is now almost midnight in Las Vegas. And in double OT, Brett Howden, thank God, sent me home.
Seconds left on this Utah power play. Vegas off ice, an aggressive stand. Steal by Howden. Scores! Brett Howden, shorthanded in double overtime.
I love that the layout is perfect. Just nobody say anything. We've been here way too long. We've said way too much. Great call on TNT last night. And it felt that way in the arena of just, wow, it's over. I don't have to do this anymore. Hockey is great until you get to your 58th minute of hockey, and you're 58th, fine. 58 was fine for me last night. It's going to overtime at 50. When you learn at minute 58, you're going to overtime. Like, oh, this could go south. When you're approaching your 100th minute of hockey, that's when you're like, okay, At 58, I was good. At 58, I was, well, let's go home. But the crowd, the home crowd, was incredible for Las Vegas. And playoff hockey remains undefeated. Surprised with the amount of locals there, too. It wasn't tourists. It were locals, Vegas locals, who packed the arena at T-Mobile last night to see their team win by a final score of 5-4. When we return, it is time for our biggest losers of the day. Shine matters in the Shine Showdown. 84% of people chose Tidal Wave over the competition. Stop by Tidal Wave and get that clean car happy feeling. Find locations at TidalWaveAutoSpa.com, TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. This is the Drake Toll Show.
In constant sorrow through his day. I am the man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasure here on earth I find. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. He has no friends to help me now. Heads fare thee well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again. For I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon that train. Perhaps you'll die upon this train. You can bury me in Sunny Valley for many years where I may lay. And you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping in his grave. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore. trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised.
In a rhythm to the brain.
Big Gooner.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Apropos, then, that I am Drake Toll. Addy Bates produces, Curtis. But what's so funny? You know what? Today's the day. I had 2 hours of sleep last night, live on location, watching the Mammoth lose to the Vegas Golden Knights. What's all this little laughing stuff you guys do in the background here?
You also say the 2 hour thing like
poetic.
it makes you special on this show.
I'll be sitting here, barbecue sauce on my.
Because whenever you talk during the break, you have normal levels. Well, this is radio jargon. Here you go, normal levels. But then as soon as you come on air, you start. Yeah, no.
I do what?
You start clipping immediately. So that was crazy. You just like blew out our ears.
Not the good way.
I don't know. I don't have control of that. I am just a man. I am just trying to say words into a microphone.
Or
and
are you a Muppet?
There,
are you a man or are you a Muppet?
When I was at Baylor, we had All Universities Sing, which is like a Broadway-style production every spring. We would practice for 2 hours a night, 2 or more hours a night, every weeknight, from the time we got back to school mid-January, January 12th, until Sing, which was in March. So we'd spend 3 months of intense military training for this Broadway-style dance. And my senior year, Beta is one of the fraternities. I think it was Beta. They did theirs. So we did a full production. They did this stupid, only 12 of them participated, like a joke of a bit. And out of the 19 fraternities and sororities that participated, they, I think, had the lowest participation. But they did, am I a man?
It was very Beta of them.
Or am I a man or am I a mathlete? And they sang it a cappella together. And I believe they placed in the competition because of how legendary. It's hilarious. Am I a man or a Muppet? What a concept.
I reflect on my reflection, and I ask myself the question. I love that song.
Every Muppets movie is the same. They all run together. Who did not die?
Stop. No.
They all run together. They all are the same to me.
No.
All got a hand up there.
Drake is actually a Muppet. The more we think about this, he is not a man. Drake is a Muppet with a hand up his.
And I was taking shots from the front and the back. It's time for our biggest losers of the day.
It's Drake Toll.
It's not. Biggest loser of the day, number 1. The Portland Trailblazers. Loved this from the San Antonio Spurs. Anytime Portland would play in San Antonio, here is how you'll hear the end of kind of some Spurs call out. The PA guy is super hyped because it's the Spurs, and he's about to introduce the Portland Trailblazers in a series where the Blazers got blitzed.
Good evening, Spurs family, and welcome to the Frost Bank Center, home to the loudest fans in the NBA. Tonight's NBA playoff matchup features the Portland Trailblazers and your San Antonio Spurs. Now the starting lineup for the visiting Portland Trailblazers. 6'4" guard from NBA G League Ignite, number 00, Scoot Henderson. 6'4" guard from UCLA, number 5, Drew Holiday. 6'8" forward from Dayton, number 33, Chumani Kamara. 6'9" forward from Israel, number 8, Denny Abdia. 7'3" setter from UConn, number 23, Donovan Clegan. Portland's acting head coach, Thiago Splitter.
The icing on the cake is, and Portland's acting head coach, which Tiago, I love Tiago Splitter, former Spurs legend Tiago Splitter, who
Splitter, I hardly know
every
her.
press conference, because the Portland Trailblazers were way better than they should have been or could have been given the fall apart. Like the roster was built out. They had a good roster. But obviously everything hit the fan. And their head coach got put in jail, which you don't need that to happen in October, September. So Tiago Splitter steps in, and every time Splitter goes to the podium post game, the reporter's like, "Hey Tiago, Dan from Locked On Portland Trailblazers. Do you know if you'll still be the head coach next year?" And Tiago every time, like, "I don't know. I would have to work for free. It is the Portland Trailblazers." So there's that. What a just embarrassment of an organization at this point for the Portland Trailblazers, who will not spend any money on anything and don't care to. Biggest loser of the day. Dave O'Brien, middle of the Red Sox game. Dave O'Brien, live on Nesson, ascended to the heavens.
Savage made just 3 Major League starts last year, none of them against the Red Sox. And
it's great that he just goes right back to normal. He goes from this like heavenly aura right back to 1-1 count. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning. Average Drake Toll show right there.
Just me talking at a very normal volume, but all you're hearing is turned up so much. Yeah. I sound like that guy all day. Where is that guy? I want to find him.
You
Still
are.
locked in Laura's basement.
He's locked in Laura's basement. Laura, the Bleck and Abdallah board op.
The first Drake Toll Show board op, you mean?
Yes,
that wasn't
Laura
the first
Menez, day one of the Drake Toll Show, because Curtis was taking vacation again. God bless. Like he's done so much. Biggest loser of the day. John Boyd tweets, the A's hitting coach gets ejected because the umpire let Michael Wacha throw a pitch right after putting away his broken chain. Here is the audio.
He's going to rearrange. Looks like we had a wardrobe malfunction. Going to lose his chain. How about that? All in one foul swoop. Michael Wacha going to put the chain in his back pocket.
An ejection. Someone in the dugout just got ejected.
John Lico was not waiting around at all.
Mark Kotze's wondering if he was the one that got ejected or someone else in the dugout.
Mr. Lipka must have got stuck in traffic on the way to the ballpark. A little fiery. Well, it looks like it's hitting coach Chris Crone. What Croney's upset about is the fact that Cortez was standing in the box, and then he waited because Wacha was clearly dealing with an issue, dealing with something, didn't step off, and all in one motion took the chain off, put it in his back pocket, and then stepped right into his windup, his delivery, and came home. And at no point in time was Cortez engaged after Wacha decided to get the motion going.
3-1, and he will draw a walk.
Addie, inside of Sutter Health Park, the minor league stadium where the A's call their games home now, at least momentarily. Yeah, if I'm a pitcher, I'm going to break my chain before every pitch. I'm going to break something on my body so that I don't have to come set. Michael Wacha doesn't come set. He pulls the chain off of his neck and then just throws. This is some Savannah Bananas stuff here.
Bananas.
I was like, how is this not a balk? How is this not a balk? He never came. Yeah, he never came to set. He literally, he just rip, pocket, throw. And it's so funny because you see in the batter's box, he literally was just standing there, almost just waiting for, oh, that was the pitch. Yeah, come on now. And getting ejected,
I guess.
The pitching coach getting ejected, come on now.
When do we get the robot umps? Can we just have the robot umps everywhere, please? Can ABS take over all of the baseball?
I don't see that happening, but it could. It could.
Final biggest loser of the day. A Florida high school baseball team season ended because the seniors chose to go to prom instead of a playoff game. They forfeited the playoffs. I don't care if you're the Pablo kid from the backyard baseball and it's just you facing the Los Angeles Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. You don't forfeit a playoff game to go to diddly, much less prom.
Prom
When
sucks.
I played high school baseball, we had what we called the T, and it was this 14-inch piece of rubber, touch yourself, that Blaine Norman kept in his locker. And if Blaine Norman brought out the T, it meant you've done something wrong. You've done something very, very wrong. And if anybody in our locker room had said, guys, we don't need the playoffs, prom's coming up, that T would have come out. And bad things happen when the T comes out. What an embarrassment to sports. Yeah, you can put that one together. I'll leave your imaginations to roam.
Big Gooner.
Addie Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. It's Westwood One Sports. You can listen to the rest of the show on the Westwood One Sports app. Stay with us live. This is the Drake Toll Show. Crotch?
This is Westwood One Sports.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. serve your client notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Touch yourself. Yeah!
Big Gooner.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Emerald J. Greenball. Lita Beta Bodabot. You found this yet? Have you discovered? Have your eyes been open to the world?
Yeah,
Emerald J. Green.
This is terrible.
Ball. Well, yeah, it's an AI song made by AI.
Okay.
Fake people. About Emerald J. Greenball, Lita Beta Bodabot, Chippy Dippy Dopey Dop. There's a woman named Deborah on TikTok, and she's the classic old lady on social media that posts videos of her dog. Like, this dog was Deborah's mother's dog. This dog is 93 years old, and it is completely stripped bald and has not seen anything in years. Lita Beta Bodabot. And she just takes videos talking to the dog about how cute the dog is. I implore you to Google Lita Beta Bodabot. Change your life.
Google me.
Thanks, Curtis. Google it. Google it. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Hey! Before we get to our obituaries, last night in the NBA, Cavs 125, Raptors 120. Rockets 99, Lakers 93. Pistons 116, Magic 109. We got ball games across the board. Everything was good. Canadians, Lightning, 3-2, the final. Canadians with a goal, the third period. The difference maker in Tampa Bay, no less. Wow. That series is now 3-2. Montreal is ahead. The Flyers knock off the Penguins 1-0 in overtime. Philly wins the series 4-2. At least it went 6 games. Sidney Crosby. Crosby saying he wants to keep the core players together, family together in Pittsburgh. Family. And the Golden Knights double overtime against the Mammoth. 5-4 the final score with the Golden Knights winning. Didn't they fire their coach a month ago? They did, and it didn't matter. Whip around the MLB as well. The Mariners finally winning baseball games. They won 6 of 7, 5-3 last night over the Twins, the Guardians. Back to 500 with a 3-1 win over the Rays. The Angels suck. That just hasn't really changed. But they at one point looked like probably a week, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, they'd be a 5. Hey, there's a 500 squad. They're now 12-20 after a loss to the White Sox, who are creeping toward 500, and the Texas Rangers steal one from the Yankees, who are still 20-11, 3-0 the final score in that one, and the Red Sox suck. I'd be remiss not to tell you as we close out your little, this is banana. You whip around coverage. The Mets did lose yesterday, and the Dodgers did lose. The biggest spenders in Major League Baseball both went down to the Atlanta Braves. The first team to 20 wins, they win again, 4-3, the final score over the Tigers. That one was in Atlanta. All right, it's time for our obituaries. Dead today, the qualifications of being an astronaut. They are about to send the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, into space. Or at least they could. He's ready for it.
People have unbelievable courage. Unbelievable. A lot of other things too, by the way. To get in there, you have to be very smart. You have to do a lot of things physically good. So I would have had no trouble making it. I'm physically very, very good.
Get him in there, man. He's going to be an astronaut. I don't know if it's that easy, astronaut-wise, but I do think it'd be a funny optic to see the president in full astronaut gear with the helmet and all, buckled up, ready to go. It would be in the spacesuit with
How
the
if he
dry,
accidentally gets lost in orbit?
The dry erase food. He wouldn't. We have technology for that. We have the Starlink now. They can navigate
what
their
about those
way.
astronauts that were up there for months when they were only supposed to be up there for a little bit? It took us months to get them back.
I think Gosling's also an astronaut technically then, because of the space movie.
Those were also we also got great one-liners from those press conferences when the astronauts were stuck up there, and he was like, "I don't know. They could be stuck for 2 days. They could be stuck for 2 months. We're figuring it out. They're doing well. It's like I called them. They're fine. It's fine." Dead today. Any sea lion that isn't chonkers. That's right. Per ABC News, who I trust in this scenario, 2 massive stellar sea lions are making waves in San Francisco, paying a visit to the city's famous Pier 39. With a video showing the smaller seals and sea lions who usually hang out there scrambling for somewhere else to hide. Why? Because Chonkers the sea lion is in San Francisco.
Thanks, Mom Donnie.
Because of Mom Donnie, Chonkers the sea lion migrated to San Francisco. Didn't even scan in. And now he's taken up the pier from all the local sea lions and seals. Shout out Chonkers for his
big gooner
bravery and courage.
He looks like Big Sin.
You're saying Chonkers the sea lion looks like your cat at home?
That is who Big Sin is.
Yeah, that's true. Dead today. Taylor Lewin. Lewin? I've always said Lewin. Luan? I've always said Lewin. Am I there? I
think it's Lewin, yeah.
Taylor Lewin, his yard work. He tweets out yesterday, got a lift in, finished work at Bussin', ripped packs, now the work begins. Happy gardening season. He is a host for Bussin' with the Boys. The concept is boys sit on buses and interview a special guest every week. Problem is Taylor posted a picture of the shovel and the mulch, the all-natural soil builder that he is putting down, his compost. And then Jack McPherson did a reverse Google image search. And turns out this image is from Grillo Lawn Services and was taken years ago. Taylor Lewin just ripped it off the internet.
Drake, I'm being told by Curtis that we have a call on the line.
Okay.
Curtis, do you want to tee it up?
I mean, I guess.
Nice, Curtis.
Someone has a gripe to pick with Miss Addie here and her baseball takes.
Put him on air.
What's happening right now? Can someone tell me what's happening on the Drake Toll Show?
We have a caller.
I'm calling you.
Yeah, we do.
Calling you.
Hi, you're on the Drake Toll Show.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Addie, take it away. I don't know what's happening right now. This is not it's your show for a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, good morning, caller.
Listen, I love your show, and I love Addie, but you can't have a balk in baseball unless there's a runner on base.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was stupid enough to watch that game, and the umpire could just make Michael Walker wait before he threw it, but you can't call it a balk because that pitch, nobody was on base at the time. So no big deal, but just wanted to mention that too.
Yes, you can't.
This is great. Caller, what a colossal and terrible infrastructural fall apart. What is your name and where are you from?
I'm actually, my name is Fred, and I was actually brought up in Culver City, where I guess your headquarters might be. But it's interesting. Why would anybody watch the A's game? I don't know, but I was bored totally.
But you did. Fred, thank you for your
Really,
call on the Drake Toll Show, the clarification. Thank you for listening as well. Wow. All right, so let's have this conversation. Who the hell didn't catch Fred's name and where he's from?
Who do you think?
Looking at both of you, what's
Who do you
happening right
think?
now?
Who do you think?
How did this just occur? I thought you were kidding. I thought you were playing a bit. Like when Curtis plays the drum roll, and I see that Adam Schefter is reporting that.
Who do you think did not catch the name and
Big
city?
Gooner.
I'll give you a big
We're
hint.
going to have a serious conversation about this because I liked that guy. He was clarifying, and I appreciate his clarification. Fred nailed it. And here's Curtis over here like, I think we have a call.
Didn't say any of that, but
And then
that's
Curtis
fine.
comes in my ears and is like, I don't know, it's just some guy. What do you mean just some guy? That guy sounded awesome. Him and I would be friends. We would play beer die on the beach. Remember when we used to run? Curtis, there are good Americans out there. Canadians, Puerto Ricans they're Americans. Who are calling this show. Do you know where your children are?
Big Gooner.
So,
wow.
I get, if you want to peel back to
Wow.
Kurt, I do get a little, Curtis is in my ear. He goes, yeah, we have a call or somebody who wants to correct you. I'm like, that's totally fine. Because yes, there were no runners on it, but if you look at it, you never came to set. So I'm saying, how is this not a balk? Like, technically it would be if there were runners on base, whatever, right? And Curtis is like, yeah, he wanted to talk about it. I'm like, okay, cool, let's put him on air.
Well, yeah, when that happens, one of you has to tell me what's going on. You can't. There's Addie's that emoji
Like
of the girl
when you put
just
sound in
standing.
the rundown, you don't tell us?
Right.
Okay,
We're just
one
trying
Good answer.
We're trying to do the Drake Toll.
Addie's standing in the corner. We have a caller. What do we do?
I did not say
freaking
that.
out.
You freaked
Curtis
out,
is
Curtis,
pressing
and I
buttons,
did not freak
Trying to
out.
figure out how to get the caller on the air.
Drake was like, what if it's a woman? What if I have to talk?
No context. Jenny Kavnar on line one.
That's my girl.
She's here to talk baseball. We should have her on. That'd be kind of fun. Those are our obituaries today. It's time for the Quickie Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addie Bates reads them. Drake Toll responds.
I'm reading this headline word for word as is, okay?
Stop. Is this another Knipple Edges flag or whatever it was?
Flag edges Knipple and tight rookie of year raise.
Stop.
No, this is Cade's 45 do trick versus Magic as Pistons stay alive.
Cade's 45 do trick, baby. Tell you what, Colt 45 did the trick for me last night on the Vegas Strip right after that Mammoth game. Find me a 40. I have been begging, because I think I said after the Pistons won Game 2 that Cade Cunningham was appointment television, and you need to be watching him during the NBA playoffs. And boy, was I wrong. He has sucked. Like, absolutely sucked. And turned the ball over an alarming amount, a historic amount. And the last night he dropped 45. Paolo Banchero also dropped 45. So that was the fourth quarter, especially for Banchero. Electric. Congrats to Cade for doing the trick. And the Pistons get the win. Cunningham's going to have those kind of games for the Detroit Pistons, who are inexperienced in the postseason, as is Cunningham, but he's the star. He's the leader. He has to do that for them to win and rally in this series.
Here's your second headline. Flyers eliminate Penguins in 6 on York's overtime winner.
And Crosby wants to keep the family together. it's just old, Like this Penguins team kind of reminds me of some of those later Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin Steelers teams, where you've got like a piece or two of like a couple young guys that are good, but a lot of your core is old, and you're looking around like, we can't get rid of the old guys because that's ageist and it's a HIPAA violation or whatever, so we got to keep them around. But also, if we don't blow the core up, we're not going to compete for a championship. Like, the window has closed. I don't know. This is just it's nice that Pittsburgh won a couple games and felt good about this, but then losing in a crushing blow in overtime yesterday, that sucks. It sucks. Sorry, Pittsburgh fans. Congrats, Philly.
Here's your third headline. We grew up. Rockets push Lakers to Game 6.
Yeah. The day happened where LeBron remembered that he's old. And last night, LeBron looked old. Even with a strong fourth quarter, it's just asking him to play a complete 4 quarters of basketball, kind of unfair to do. And LeBron James, the Los Angeles Laker, his window to win another championship in L.A., which I don't think anybody gives him enough credit for the first championship that he did win. Last night was not a good look for Los Angeles. The Rockets claiming that they are the better team. They have been the better team for every game outside of Game 1, I think, and just not closed games. Last night they did, and now they're right back in the middle of this series, headed to Houston for Game 6.
Alrighty, here's your next headline. Amid live unrest, players are exploring return to PGA.
Idiots. Money-grubbing, entitled, selfish idiots. But if someone offered me $600 million to move to Dubai and start the Toll Drake show, $600 million is a good chunk. So at the very least, the live guys who have ruined their reputation.
You would leave Curtis and Addie just for what's the grass is greener on the other side, so you can start your own Toll Drake show.
Here's what's going to happen. In 7 years, it's going to collapse colossally. I got paid. I come back. I give both of you a bag, and we all ride off into the sunset back with the Drake Toll show, a la them leaving live, tails between their legs, and now they're back in the PGA. Could have probably called this. It didn't work. It exploded. It was a disaster. And now they're all like, oh, sorry. But again, at least they got paid. For their credit, at least they got paid.
All right. Schroeder's halftime speech, 11 points in the fourth quarter, sparked Cavaliers to victory over Raptors.
I've said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. There are new audiences every hour on the radio show. New people are turning the radio on. This could be the first time. This could be the first 86 seconds you're listening to the Drake Toll show today. So you've not heard me say, I don't care. I care. But I don't think the winner of the Cavs and Raptors series has any bearing on who's going to compete in the East. Look, call me on it in 3 weeks. Take this audio clip, and Jeff, call the show in 3 weeks when I'm wrong, but I've watched this series, and it's a fun series. But it's just two kids playing in the sandbox. The Pistons' magic has been gross basketball, but it's the 8 seed toppling the 1 seed. That's the top of the jungle gym. And this Cavs Raptors, just two kids playing. Now, damn, they're playing hard in the sandbox. They're going at it in the sandbox. But it has no bearing on the king of the hill. That's a minute.
Those are your headlines.
That's Addie Bates. She produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. On the other side of this break, the Flyers eliminate the Penguins in Game 6. The Las Vegas Golden Knights get a win in double overtime. And the National Hockey League, tonight, could be the nail in the coffin for one team that I thought was a true Stanley Cup contender. What that means? This is the Drake Toll Show.
delete everything off your phone.
Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crossed up by hoodoo, voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no light through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover. Well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, a one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're praying, meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken to my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. Count 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a straight sickness, or someone is blocking up all of your success, you need to see me right away so I can fix this. Sounds sincerely yours in faith, love, and peace, your friend Archbishop Harold Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crossed up by hoodoo, voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no light through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover. Well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, a one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're praying, meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken to my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away.
Big Gooner.
It is the Drink Toll Show. Drink Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. Tonight, that's right, Drake Fontenot toes the rubber for the Loco Beach Coconuts. Tanner Allen, former National Baseball Player of the Year at Mississippi State, College World Series winner, will bat in the, I'm breaking this news the first time to the public, he'll bat in the 3-hole this evening as the Loco Beach Coconuts meet the Party Animals in Las Vegas. Live from the Las Vegas Strip, Drake Toll with you. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. And then this is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Good morning to the world. Good morning to the cat. Good morning to my next-door neighbor. Wow. You know, I pretend to care about your baseball. Maybe it's time. I pretend to care about your Astros. The least you could do is just for a second, like, you know what? Maybe the Loco Beach Coconuts right the ship tonight. Maybe you could just drop a little nugget in there like that. Maybe this is when they put it all together. Hey, you just go back to having a foggy microphone. You just go back to your microphone sounding like this shh in the background.
Not my fault.
We don't care.
We do not
care.
We do not care.
That's great. Last night in the National Hockey League, tonight in the National Hockey League. Here's what I want you to know. I want to play you a couple clips, a couple highlights, because you're like, oh, hockey. Because you live in Biloxi, Mississippi. You're listening right now from Biloxi, Mississippi, or you're listening from Morgantown, West Virginia. You are dialed in on our affiliate in Opelika, Alabama, or Helena, West Helena, Arkansas. You ain't got no hockey team. You don't give a rat's ass about hockey. Well, that's okay. Let me entertain you for a second, because there is something so incredible about live playoff hockey. Last night in the arena, when the Golden Knights, down 4-3, under a minute to go, have pulled their goalie. Mind you, this would mean that there is no one playing goalie. That another player has rushed onto the ice to now add to your offense. Well, certainly this means that without the goalie, the other team could just put the puck in the net, right? Well, yeah, sometimes actually, yeah. You just have an empty net goal because something goes awry, and as you're pushing the puck up the ice, bam, a steal. And now a breakaway leads to empty net goal, and the opposing team goes from leading the game by 1 to leading the game by 2, and my plus 1.5 bet is foiled with a minute to go. Last night, not the case, though. Last night in Las Vegas, down 4-3. Dorofeyev, the same man who already had 2 goals, who tied the game twice before, this time inside of a minute, goes for the hat trick. Listen to the home crowd roar.
Spins away from Stenley. Trying to work it to the front. Looking to connect with Hurdle on his second attempt. Chopped away from him. Dorofeyev scores!
Yeah. I implore you again, in the spirit of electricity, for me, sitting in that arena, next to die-hard, lifelong Knights fans. By lifelong, I mean 9 years. They've existed for 9 years. Now, time flies, by the way. 9 years, they're going on a decade of the Vegas Golden Knights. I'd have told you they've been around for 5 years. No, 9 years of the Vegas Golden Knights. A franchise that already has a Stanley Cup. In the midst of Vegas locals, you forget those people exist. You forget that people live in Las Vegas. They do. Because last night, there's that moment, after the second period is over, we do a 20-minute break in between periods, and they're flashing words on the screen. The first one's like, okay, Knights fans. The next one, get up and get loud. The next one, let me hear you scream. Next one, if you're a kid, wah, adult, wah, lower bowl, upper bowl. And they did something I've never seen before. Every single team has the same version of the brr, 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 brr. And they have this side yell and that side yell, and the old people yell, the young people yell. But they did something I've never seen before. In the middle of this prompt to scream, they said all of the tourists yell. If you're a tourist, you should yell. So, probably 10% of the arena. In a city where a majority of people walking amongst you are tourists. Then they said, yell if you're a local, and the lid came off that place. If there was ever a question about whether or not Vegas could facilitate professional sports, by the way, Las Vegas, and this is where this conversation, if you hate hockey, is still for you. It's still for you and me. Vegas 10 years ago was at an impasse, 10, 12 years ago, I've been to Reno, Nevada, okay? And in Reno, you can see where if Vegas had taken a slightly different turn, it would end up like Reno. You go to their version of Circus or any number of these run-down, dilapidated casinos in downtown Reno, you look around and say, wow, it looks like what Vegas probably resembled in 1978, and they just didn't fix any of it. They just didn't keep any of it alive. Reno fell apart. The casinos, the nightlife fell apart. 12 years ago, Vegas is at an impasse. Hey, guys, the shtick is kind of over. Like, Ocean's 11 was cool and all, but people can't actually rob money from casinos. And slowly, it's like the American people don't really want to gamble anymore. They don't really want to go to an Outback Steakhouse or a Denny's or an Applebee's that smells like throw up on the Las Vegas Strip. That went from cool to, seen that before. We're decades into this thing. So Vegas said, what about pro sports? What about hockey? What about football? What about baseball upcoming? They're almost done with that. They've made great progress. They're 2 years away on that venue, which will be state-of-the-art. And a lot of you, myself included, a lot of us, we said it's Las Vegas. That place is built on entertainment, and that entertainment is gambling and showgirls and Cirque du Soleil and Piff the Magic Dragon and David Blaine. They ain't got nothing to do about no sports. And last night, what they've done to save Vegas from the Sphere and the rebrand and revamp of the Sphere to the Golden Knights building a home fandom, winning a cup. It proved to me this is a city where it's not just the tourists that have to come through and make sure that Allegiant Stadium stays stocked when the Raiders are playing at home. But no, this is a city that facilitates sports. That Las Vegas is a sports city. What? Yeah. And the T-Mobile Center that I was in last night, T-Mobile Arena could certainly house an NBA team. Vegas, to me, as somebody, I've now been to every major market in America to watch sports at the highest level in the biggest venues as a part of my job, right? Vegas, this is like the last thing I had to check off was let's go to Vegas and just see. Is it all tourists? Do they really show up? And at the show that the Golden Knights put on, the hospitality of the locals, the beer could have been colder. The beer was warm. But that's a problem. That's a major, major problem that I'm willing to let go of while I wax poetic. We'll address that at a later date. I'll send a strongly worded letter. But Vegas proved itself a sports city last night. And in double overtime, Brett Howden, you're about to hear my jubilation. The TNT play-by-play guy just go dark for a second and let the crowd overtake it. This is me yelling partially because the game was finally over.
Seconds left on this Utah power play. Vegas off ice, an aggressive stand. Steal by Howden. Scores! Brett Howden, shorthanded in double overtime.
After we get the third horn, I start to giggle a little bit. It's funny that just everybody's kind of in disbelief of what we have seen over the course of 100 minutes of hockey. Just limping to the finish line. Please, someone win the game. My money was on Vegas. And they took it home by a final of 5-4. elsewhere in the NHL. Montreal on the road. Sportsnet, here's how it sounded when the Canadiens scored their final goal of the evening to make the score 3-2 in Tampa Bay, and that was all she wrote.
And change is underway 1 minute in. A lead feed. They've got Texier. Shot. Scores! Alex Texier. 66 seconds in.
Chris, another example. Quick change, and what a heads-up play by Hudson. Just tape to tape here. Texier, remember that goal he was able to score Game 3.
It's kind of funny, too, the amount of Canadiens fans who are, wow. Typically, a goal on the road in the playoffs is going to suck the air out of the building, but Canadiens fans showed up. And now Montreal leads the series 3-2. The true crown jewel, because of the rivalry, and this is a long-standing rivalry between cities, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. This is the crown jewel. The Mammoth and the Knights, the Golden Knights, they're rivals, but the Mammoth have existed for 2 years. This is their second year. They're still in their infancy. And Salt Lake City versus Las Vegas is maybe like a quasi-rivalry, but they're both so different. Salt Lake City, the land of dreams. Las Vegas, the land of gambling. And I was surprised. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS, you may know them as Mormons, the theme of that last night. The Golden Knights fans were like, yeah, we're playing the Mormon team. Like, what? Like, that's part of the Vegas versus Salt Lake rivalry that led into what made last night such a crisp atmosphere. The Penguins and the Flyers hate each other just for pure cross-state hate. And the Flyers in overtime. The Penguins just needed 1 goal in overtime to tie this series at 3 games apiece. Go back to Pittsburgh for a deciding Game 7. Boy, that would have been something else. But instead, it was the Flyers in OT getting it done last night on TNT.
Flyers control the face-off. Shot from long range. Score! The Flyers win it! York beating the Sealoffs in overtime. Cates wins the faceoff, goes right to the net, takes the eyes away of Artur Shelovs, and York able to get the puck on net while the traffic is there. Shelovs never saw it, off the post and in, and the Flyers are on to the second round. Cam York with his first career postseason goal. He had not scored a goal in the last 37 games.
Yeah, he does here. Cam York ends it. Vladar was incredible in goal, by the way. A perfect game last night. 42 saves for Philly. A goose egg for the Penguins. The series is over. Flyers win it 1-0. Tonight, the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. I am a Stars fan. And the Dallas Stars, the series stops here. The buck stops here. It's another failed postseason for Dallas. The Jake Ottinger identity crisis continues. Doesn't matter who coaches the damn team. They're just going to lose in the playoffs at some point in a gritty series where you get outplayed. At least it was round 1 this time. The Wild will win it. That's what you need to know about the Stanley Cup contender Dallas. They're always Stanley Cup contenders. They're just not Stanley Cup finishers. When we return. May we? Shall we? Go to the NFL. Aaron Rodgers. Unlikely to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? Well, it looks a lot less likely today than it did 2 days ago. I'll tell you why. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Westwood One. We love sport.
Good morning. Big stretch. What more could you want? 4:44 and 7 seconds on the West Coast. Curtis Poindexter is in Culver City, California. Addie Bates in Washington, D.C. producing. This is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. There's so many ways you can be involved in the show, by the way. You can call or text the show whenever you want, 310-840-4910. You can even tweet at me, just at Drake C. Toll Show. It's that easy. Or you can go to Instagram, where at Drake Toll or at Drake C. Toll. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Or you can even go into the YouTube, the Drake Toll Show YouTube, or what's the other Twitter? Gosh, we're giving them so many ways for live feedback, including Fred, who called the show earlier and told Addie that she was incorrect in such a polite way. I liked that guy. I missed that guy. I wish we would have had more hospitality. We should give every caller a glass of water, let them sit in the green room for a second. We got to work on our infrastructure and etiquette. Though it is Blip and Nitro.
Can you read the room? Our poor Curtis is upset, and you're on about that again. For the love of Christ.
I didn't even Blip and Nitro him. Is that what Curtis is upset about?
You're like, Curtis. And then you proceeded to put random audio in there and yell at him because he didn't check 30 seconds before you were supposed to air the audio. This is the kind of operation you're running here.
Yes, Nitro? Does Curtis look kind of sad to you? Oh, I don't know, Nitro. He's not quite using that sniffer like he usually does.
Big gooner.
Curtis is going to take a day off from privates investigating. When you're mean to Curtis, that's who you're being mean to.
I don't get days off.
Is the
so
weird?
That's already wrong.
Is that
I'm like so
that
sad
one
right
penguin?
now because I'm looking at Curtis and it's making me really sad. Like I don't think I've ever been like gotten secondhand sadness. Like Curtis was just so wholesome and sweet. Like,
is it because his camera's out of focus? Is that why you're sad?
If you were sad right now, I'd be like, oh, we're just gonna get yelled at a little bit. That's okay, Curtis. We could just, we'll go right past it. But when Curtis is sad, I'm like,
you're saying when I'm sad, you don't care, but when Curtis is sad, that ruins your day?
I don't think I've ever seen you sad. You usually just are mad at us.
I've kind of got one little track. It's right down the middle. Every morning I'm showing up.
I don't think I've ever seen you sad. I've never seen you sad. I've just seen you mad at us. And happy with us.
I don't think I've ever been mad.
I
don't think I've ever been mad.
That's Curtis.
Curtis, have I ever once been, in our entire relationship, we worked together for years, have I ever been mad at you?
For like 4 months or whatever it is?
Yeah, have I ever been mad at you in those 4 months?
Nah.
Yeah, see? You know what? I'll buy Curtis. I bet if I was to think of gifts that Curtis would like, I bet he would really like one of those edibles.
Arrangements.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I bet he'd like one of those. Good answer. The adult edible arrangements. I bet he'd like some fruit. Curtis seems like the guy, if I got him a Cinemark gift card, he'd be all over that. He'd be like, damn, they're playing Fight Club again at Cinemark this weekend. You
4K
know me so well.
remaster of Fight Club.
If I bought Curtis a Dave & Buster's gift card, but not the kind you can use for food or games, just the games card. Just bought Curtis a $50 Dave & Buster's games card.
That sounds awesome.
Wow, right? Yeah, it does. We might never see Curtis again.
I worked there for like a month,
Curtis
so I probably would never go back, actually.
Curtis is stuck in the ball pit. Drowning, paddling around.
Has a ball pit.
I can't breathe. You're
thinking of
Chuck E.
Chuck E.
Cheese,
Cheese,
ever spoken. No, you guys aren't going to the right Dave & Buster's. You got to really expand your Dave & Buster's repertoire. Curtis, I'll make it up to you. I'm sorry. Let the record show.
And I was taking shots from the front and the back.
I am sorry, Curtis.
I feel so bad. It's also partially my fault, okay? I teed up the call. You panicked because we never get callers, and you went into panic mode. And you were like, what is that? What is that? And I was like, Curtis, tee it up. He was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then you're like, what's happening? What is the call? And I was like, okay. And then poor Curtis is like, oh. So Curtis, I'm also sorry.
I think we were in the middle of the chonkers conversation. So what I thought was happening in the midst of this middle of the hour snafu that happened with the caller Fred, I thought, Addie, when you said we have a caller, I thought you were going to bring. Hello, it's Chonker's mom. Sorry he got out. I thought you were going to play a bit, like a fake caller bit. Because I could see myself doing something like that. You know, it's the breaking news thing that we do once every few days. We have bits that are like that. So I thought, Addie, we don't have a real caller, a real human on the phone. We have, the Sea Lion's mom that Addie has conceptualized here. Only to find out we did have a real caller, Fred. And he was so nice. Mm-hmm. He did call, but he called to correct Addie, and he did it in a very polite way. And I feel like in the end, we were all kind of right. That yes, the situation was handled well.
I do appreciate how the only time we get callers to correct, it's for me and not you ever.
When have I been wrong? Outside of saying the Pistons would lose last night.
I mean, I could stop.
Hubert.
Man. When have you been right, Drake?
Hubert Davis. Kirch. I did pick Indiana to win the national championship.
You did.
Come on,
call
and
him
the
Curtis,
Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
You called him Curtis Poindexter today.
Big Gooner.
Crotch Poindexter.
Poindexter.
Yeah. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is listening? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is a big Curtis fan?
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to that show sometimes. What do you think, Aaron? What do you think? It's like I like the one guy. I like the sidekick. I like that one guy. I like the idea that he's in a buddy cop movie with Blip and Nitro. The UFA tender is an insult. Aaron Rodgers has been insulted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The unrestricted free agent tender, a procedural insurance policy, it's like a golden handcuff. You've locked in Aaron Rodgers to 110% raise, claiming exclusive negotiation rights after the middle of July. The Steelers have removed Rodgers from having any leverage in the open market. Would that make you happy? You have the world is your oyster. You have a ton of options here. And then in the end, you get a call from your boss that you might not return to that company. You might not return to KPMG. You get a call from your boss. It's like, hey, by the way, we went ahead and exercised our right that you have nothing to do with, so you can't negotiate with anyone else to leave. Oops. Being tendered like a restricted rookie, that's a move that leads to like scorched earth exit. I'm ticked off. I don't want to talk. And the latest updates aren't great out of Pittsburgh if you're an Aaron Rodgers fan, if you want him to be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year. Headline reading, Rooney says Steelers remain in regular contact with Rodgers. The club used that rarely used tender just in case he might want to go somewhere else. And Rooney says, well, it gives us potential for a comp pick if Aaron was to go to another team. We don't expect that, but you never know. Wait a second. So you're building infrastructure here for Rodgers to jump ship. And you're only building that because you trust him to come back, because you think he's coming back. We think he's going to come back. We expect him to come back. But we don't really expect him to come back. So we're going to apply this UFA tender. Huh. So not a real big deal, Rooney said, per ESPN. Not a real big deal, huh? We've been in contact. He's been keeping us up to date on his plan. No, he hasn't. That's not true. He hasn't been keeping you up to date on his plans. You told us by the draft that Rodgers had to make a decision. The decision will be made by the draft. Dude, the draft was a week ago today. By the draft doesn't mean that he's going to do it at midnight of draft day, by the way. It means that he could do it weeks prior to the draft. We can figure this out. The Steelers do not have a quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers do not have a quarterback. Do you go with a Drew Aller succession plan? Take the 23-year-old instead of the 42-year-old starter? Do you take the Rodgers guy who lost 30-6 to the apoplectic making the fan base apoplectic, I should say, after 30-6 loss to the Houston Texans, to a Texans team that was not championship caliber. You allowed 30 points. Now, granted, C.J. Stroud was ass in that game. You allowed 30 points. Only scored 6. The Texans. Rodgers was embarrassed in the playoffs. This comp pick motivation, too. If that's the motivation, then Rodgers leaving helps the Steelers. We're getting closer and closer to Aaron Rodgers not being a Pittsburgh Steeler next year. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter produces. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. When we come back, let's talk Idiot of the Day. And a Boston sports expert joins the show. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Wood One Sports.
Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the Parkway. Be home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep. Far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good heart loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Push came down to shove, I'd be a bandit for her love. Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the nights. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? I can't win for all this losing, I can't see for all this boozing, but by God I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road, make up for lost time. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline. Far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
Tomorrow
We are shades away from May in 2026. Is tomorrow May? Or do we have 31 days in April? No one told me.
No, take your hat off and we'll know.
Addie, would you check my calendar, please? Do we have 31 days in April? Or is it 30?
You don't do the knuckle thing?
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to do.
30.
January, February, March.
Yeah, but then you have to skip a couple knuckles, and then one knuckle's 28, and one knuckle's 29, one knuckle's 32 if it's a leap year. I don't like that. I don't play those games.
Your Arkansas is showing.
I just Google it or ask someone.
Google
the
me.
Encyclopedia. April showers bring May flowers.
Can we
Too bad
see-
it didn't rain almost anywhere in America.
Can we see the hair for a second? Can we see how it's looking? Wow. There's the perm.
Looks pretty normal just because it's been crimped down by the hat.
It looks like the chicken on the bouillon.
Arroz con pollo?
Like the chicken. That makes the rice red.
Oh no. I've been having light issues. Addie, can you check my schedule, please, and figure out how to order me a new light?
For the listeners out there, I went to college. I got a degree. Did really well. All A's. 4.0. Just so I could, tell Drake how to fix a light and build a calendar.
You got all A's? Wow.
Yes.
I ditched 3/4 of my classes and I'm here too.
Yes.
Nerd.
I was.
Curtis, where'd you go to college? Let's learn something about Curtis. Curtis, where'd you go to college?
Cal State Northridge down the street.
Whoop whoop.
Really,
Wow.
everyone that's in radio
CSU
here
Northridge.
went to that school.
Wow, so feeder program. Okay, big radio school, Cal State Northridge.
It's like the only school with a radio station anymore, it feels like.
Oh. Were you talent in college, Curtis?
I mean, we had a student radio station there, so I guess I did a little bit, but I quickly found out I didn't want to do that. I didn't care enough
Why
to
didn't
do
you
it,
want to do that? What? Why did you want to talk on the radio?
I don't know.
Okay, great. Thank you. What, Addie? You can't keep doing...
I love Curtis. That's just so funny. I was the GM of my radio station. Shocker. Control freak. Who would have thought?
I don't think Curtis is as sad as you are putting it off. As you are placing him in the box of sadness, the glass case of emotion. I think you are vicariously sad through Curtis.
Yeah, it's just, it's Curtis. That's my boy.
I don't want to hurt him either. Correct. I want to protect Curtis at all costs. He doesn't seem that sad to me today.
I don't know. I don't think Curtis and I think Curtis and I maybe were just a little closer, so I can pick up any time there's something wrong with Curtis.
If we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Exactly. Because I care about Curtis. I care about his life outside of this. Curtis and I,
There's a
we get
life
dinner
outside of
together.
this?
Yeah, we get dinner together. We FaceTime. We travel the world together.
You guys FaceTime? I haven't figured out FaceTime yet. If there's one thing I hate more than what I hate British food. It's terrible. You just go and it's just beans and stuff. Genuinely, it's just bad.
I love beans.
Okay. They're just piling beans inside of a pot, and they're like, here's some bread with it, and there's a semblance of meat in there. If I hate anything more than that, it is FaceTime. I can't do it. I cannot FaceTime people. I don't want to FaceTime people. I don't want to hold my phone like that while I'm trying to talk to you. Call me. If you need me, just call me.
Do you want to know? I don't like when people call me out of nowhere. I don't like that.
I'll stare at it and
why?
let it go.
Scare you?
No, because it's usually because the problem is that then I feel obligated to answer every single time, and it's usually when I'm with my family or I'm at something important. Well, I got to take this now. If you send me a text hey, are you good to talk? I'll be hey, can you give me the 15 minutes? And then I prefer that versus just calling out yeah.
Usually
I'm a total cold caller.
I was yeah. Also, if I'm
I love a
asleep,
cold call.
I'll miss it. I'll miss it every single time.
Yep. If I'm in nap mode or I'm in sleepy time mode, do not call.
Do not call.
I'm not call.
I'm gonna call.
I'm gonna call. It's time on the Drake Toll Show.
So hard.
Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910 for our Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day number 1, 90s kids. DGen CPA Drew Vento tweets, I'll admit,
I feel targeted.
When I was a kid in the 90s, I definitely thought that Kid Rock would have less direct involvement with military operations. Never could have known. I could not have. I think Jake Paul is next. 25 years from now, it'll be Jake Paul. We were like, when I was a 2020s kid, I didn't realize that Jake Paul would be flying the jet airplanes for the United States military. But I think we're inching ever closer to that. I believe it started with the Kid Rock helicopter thing next to his house, which he lives in the White House. That was news to me. Not too far out of Culver City, California, I believe. And then I think he gave a pep talk to the military before we did Iran. Something like that. Kid Rock. Idiot of the Day. Texas Tech. ESPN tweets out, Brendan Sorsby, ESPN Schick, Matt Schick, tweets out, Brendan Sorsby has entered a gambling addiction program for sports betting, which could end his college career. But the second paragraph of the story that's been posted is remarkable. It unpacks the true Idiot of the Day. Here is paragraph 1 from CBS Sports. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby is away from the team indefinitely after entering a gambling addiction program, which threatens his status for the upcoming season as the Red Raiders' prized possession from the 2026 transfer portal cycle. Next paragraph. Texas Tech was an overwhelming favorite to repeat as the Big 12 champions after acquiring Sorsby this offseason, but has now moved to even money at plus 100 via FanDuel Sportsbook after Monday's news. The Red Raiders' projected win total has also decreased, going from 11.5 at opening to 10.5 victories, and Sorsby's no longer FanDuel's Heisman Trophy odds list after opening at plus 2,500, just outside the top 10. So in true awesome current sports media fashion, it's, oh no, college sports player did a gamble. We must kill him. Sponsored by FanDuel. Right now, you can get Brendan Sorsby at plus 100 at the Heisman race on FanDuel. It's just everybody, it's everywhere you go. It permeates. And look, I want to emphasize, I don't have a problem with sports books sponsoring shows. I don't have a problem doing the ad reads. I don't have a problem being sponsored by FanDuel or BetMGM or Kalshi or Polymarket. I can legally do it. I'm allowed to do that. You, the fans, you, the people, are allowed to do it. There are just strict rules that say, hey, if you are which I still think government employees can't do weed, right? You can't smoke weed as a government employee. Am I wrong on that?
No, but you can drink on the
Pretty
job.
sure
it's fine. You
can drink on the job. Yes, you cannot smoke weed. So look, we live in a world where I could smoke weed in Colorado, but a governor could not. They'll drug test him. Same thing. You can sports bet. You can gamble. Brendan Sorsby can't. Some people have parameters and restrictions on what they can do in life because their employer asks them to. That is the case for Brendan Sorsby. Thank you. Idiots of the Day. Dodgers fans today. Addie, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I love this. It's so funny. So there's this post, and it's showing one of the Miami Marlins pitchers coming out of the bullpen, Tyler Phillips. He has this routine where he always slaps his face. And, of course, a Dodgers fan goes, Mookie Betts was not kidding. These people are really treating the Dodgers like the World Series. And then somebody responds and goes, he does this every game, but Dodgers fans can't comprehend not being the center of everything, which is so true. And then you have the reader's added context. Yes, he's done this since June 2025. This is his thing. He'll always slap himself.
The self-slap is him?
Yes, he always does that. It's not just because he's playing the Dodgers. He does that every time he comes out of the bullpen.
Yeah. Are you saying you don't like so the Dodgers fans that are listening to the show, what message are you sending them right now?
Let me read this again. Someone tweeted out with this video and said Mookie Betts, Dodger, was not kidding. The Miami Marlins are really treating the Dodgers like it's the World Series. And so then someone said he does this every game, but Dodgers fans can't comprehend not being the center of everything because everything's about them.
Huh. Thank you. Dodgers fans?
Take that.
Shohei Ohtani, that's the Dodgers, right?
Yes. Good.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good job, buddy.
Idiot of the day. That one strait in the Middle East that is now being double blockaded. Here's the audio from Washington, D.C.
So do you call Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz winning?
Well, I would say the blockade that we hold that doesn't allow anything to come in or out of Iranian ports.
Okay, so we've blockaded their blockade. So they blockaded us, and then we blockaded their blockade. That's like saying, tag, you're it. Or, if President Madison had said, well, the British just burned down Washington, but don't worry, we're going to burn it down as well.
How many blockades is too many blockades? And what does this do to gas prices? Eddie, can you give me any context here? You live in Washington, D.C. You watch the pizza places where they leave the Pentagon to go buy more pizza to blow things up. What's happening with the strait? Is it open? Is it closed? What's going on?
I don't think it's open, but that's Pete Hegseth, and that's him trying to justify the war in Iran and his tactics. And his tactics are like, we'll do the same thing as them, but different, but the same.
But America.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's the one that called off the looking into the helicopter flying over Kid Rock's house.
Yes, so your tax dollars went
That's
towards
right.
yours.
He's the Kid Rock helicopter guy. Idiot of the day. Every single team in the AL West, including the true idiot of the day, the Houston Astros. Why? Because all of the teams in the AL West suck at baseball. Addie, I'll pitch this one to you, pun intended. You said earlier that the Houston Astros very well could make a managerial change, and maybe they should sooner than later.
Dana Brown, the general manager, said, "Hey, I'm not going to blame Joe because we're injured and we're walking too many people. The pitchers are walking too many people." I was like, yeah, okay, cool. We are the team is injured. That is true. The pitcher's walking too many people. Isn't that because that's your roster? Again, this is the whole Craig Breslow effect. The ones that these aren't good pitchers. Didn't you sign them? Isn't this your fault? So if Jim Crane doesn't fire both of them, I'll be shocked. Shocked.
I'll hire Addie as the replacement.
The Athletics. Addie could coach the team.
That would be awesome.
The Athletics lead the West. They are 16-14. The Mariners right behind at 16-16. The Texas Rangers are 15-16 in third place. That is how we say bad. Idiot of the day. Those of you who gave Mike Vrabel a damn standing ovation. Vrabel comes to the podium. First time in a bit, in front of in an event for New England fans, and as soon as he gets up to start talking, the whole place gives him a standing O. This happened yesterday, and New York Jets Matt tweets, Mike Vrabel receiving a standing ovation from Patriots fans after destroying his family and marriage of 27 years. It's just a video of the guy smiling real big. Addie, we have once again allowed guy in sports to do whatever guy in sports wants, and then we kind of move on.
Big gooner.
I love how we're acting like we're giving him the standing ovation. Like he overcame this adversity. He was locked up in North Korea. He survived this. We're giving him a standing ovation. And the adversity at hand was cheating on your wife.
Adultery. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Who was the baseball player that dropped the worst of the two F words and then also got a standing ovation his first game back?
Jarren Duran.
Was it Duran? And then Boston Red Sox fans? Also Boston sports fans. Wow. Wow. He drops the worst of the two F words, the three-letter one. And then Boston sports fans gave him a standing ovation for that because the adversity that he faced. And Mike Vrabel gets this treatment after a 6+ year affair. And final idiot of the day, James Cook. His discussion posts from when he was playing at Georgia have been leaked, and they are something else. When he was at Georgia, he submitted a paragraph for class called Feral Hogs. James Cook writes, "Why are feral hog populations so hard to contain? Because the population are big, and all they do is keep making 100 of feral hogs. And they do is make their mark everywhere. They at. And they are trying to stop them, but they cannot. Because there are about 2 million of these hogs, and ordinary hunting and these feral hogs are very dangerous, and these type of animals are only in the southern." James Cook on feral hogs. A poem by James Cook.
You use like the first
As written
version of
by-
ChatGPT before it was refined.
He did, yeah. He did. It's the Nokia 1 ChatGPT. The Kia Sarah ChatGPT.
Sounds like when you go to those weird
2019.
websites that they copy other stores, but like they're broken English and clearly.
Can
they
you
just
read the
copied it
second
from
one?
somewhere
Do you
else.
have time to read the second one?
Yeah, who cares? The next guest will be fine. We'll figure it. We'll make it work for him. James Cook, Module 4, Houses on Wheels. These houses are very unique because homes like that you can come outside and your friends would be outside. And I think they are good because you can move them around to different spots. And some people like them because that's all they know is trailer homes. And for them to break their houses up like that is just a shame. And I think it's not right because some of those people had kids. And when still no period. There's been zero punctuation. And when I look back at when I stayed in Alabama, I stayed in a trailer home, and it was one of the coolest things ever, period. And I think people live in small house because they have a lot of freedom, and you really wouldn't have much to spend, and you can just build up on it. And I mean, that's just what they like. I mean, I can stay in a tiny house also.
Stay off the weed.
Module 4, Houses on Wheels. A poem.
So smart. Send him to space.
James Cook. Never seen James Cook and George Orwell in the same room. Haven't. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Let's go to Boston. Coming up next, the Wicked Boston Sports Show. Cameron Stewart joins the Drake Toll Show to break down is Mike Tomlin going to coach the Patriots? No, it's the Drake Toll Show.
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real name is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all.
Wanna tell you about the girl I love. My, she looks so fine. She's the only one that I've been dreaming of. Maybe someday she
woman stay drunk all the time. I said I got a little woman and she won't be true. On Sunday morning when we go down to church, see the men folks standing in line. Don't say they come to pray to the Lord, not when my little girl looks so fine. And in the evening when the sun is sinking low, everybody's with the one they love. I walk the town, keep searching all around, looking for my street corner girl. I got a warm ball all day. I got a warm, she won't be true, no. I got a warm, stay drunk all the time. I said I got a little woman and she won't be true. In the bars where the men will play guitar, sit and drink it and remember the time. My little lover does a midnight shift. She follows around all the time. I guess it's just one thing left for me to do. Gonna pack my bags and move on my way. 'Cause I got a worried mind, sharing what I thought was mine. Gonna leave her with the guitars play. I got a woman, she won't be true, no. I got a woman falling all day, yeah. Now. I got a woman, stay drunk all the time. I got a little woman and she won't be true. I said she won't be true, no. Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no.
Sounds in a rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee.
Good morning from the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. And on Thursday, April 30th, 5:23 and 46 seconds Pacific time, the Boston Red Sox do not have a full-time manager. Why? Well, Alex Cora was fired because obviously he was the problem, right? Wrong. In my book, at least, wrong. Craig Breslow. There's the Tim Robinson meme where he's in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and he runs it into a laundromat and then he gets out and he's dressed in a hot dog costume and he says, well, we're all looking for the guy who did this. Cameron Stewart, at Real Cam Stewart from the Wicked Boston Show, joins the Drake Toll Show. Cam, did the Red Sox get the wrong guy?
Kinda. Yeah. Look, the Red Sox have clearly much deeper-seated issues than Alex Cora, but I don't think Alex Cora is completely blameless here. It all comes down to the ownership and the way Craig Breslow is running it. But that said, Cora has really, for a guy who's supposed to be this great elite manager, there's a couple last-place finishes in there. There's not making the most, I think, out of a roster, even though it's not a World Series roster. There was confusing lineup choices every day this season. There was confusing bullpen usage from him both last season and this season. So is he completely blameless? No. But I also do think he is like the third or fourth guy on this blame list here. But I keep saying, dude, this is like this. What Craig Breslow has right now is exactly what Billy Beane wanted in Moneyball. Like Craig Breslow has now cleaned house of all the tried and true baseball guys, so to speak, from the coaching staff, and has made it all his own guys, all these minor league managers and coaches whom were hired, to fit his philosophy, his development system. And now they are the guys running the major league team on the field. And Driveline is not going anywhere. A couple of teams have fired Driveline from their development team. The Red Sox have embraced it, even though they continue to do less with more the last couple of seasons. So it is now Craig Breslow's show. I don't know if that makes his leash shorter or longer now that it's his guys in there, but if the Red Sox fail this year, which they will, and probably next year, then there will be no question who it falls on. And if that is the case, they suck the rest of this year, which they will, and they're not good next year, then it would be the greatest PR move for Alex Cora.
You mentioned Driveline. You mentioned Breslow getting his guys in here. When I worked on Cape Cod, there was a tiff between general manager and the coach of the team, where the coach remarked at one point, "Am I running this roster, or is it the 23-year-olds with their laptops?" Is this a large-scale case of that with the Boston Red Sox and the way they want to run this organization?
Well, look, Drake, I'll just say this. That's why you don't have a Cape League championship ring, and I do. Let me just say that. We know how to run a franchise in Wareham, okay? But, yeah, honestly, it kind of is. It kind of is. Like, I'll go back to the Moneyball thing. Like, that gets overused a lot. Like, oh, this team's trying to do Moneyball and this. But that is how it's playing out right now. Like they want it. In fact, the way that Breslow is kind of the thesis that he came to when he fired Alex Cora was, we had all these, young stars coming up through our pipeline. By the way, guys who were not drafted or scouted by Breslow and his staff. They were all Hein Bloom guys. These guys that have hit the majors, the Roman Anthonys, the Marcelo Myers, Brian Bayo, Christian Campbell even, who's been back in the minors for 10 months now. And he said, basically, these guys went through Driveline, through their minor league development. That's why they were some of the best hitters in the minor leagues. That's why they were some of the best prospects in baseball. Positions be damned, because none of them know how to field when they get up to the major league level, but that when they hit the majors, they now have hitting coaches and a manager who does not embrace Driveline, and that's why they suck. That's why Christian Campbell had to go back to AAA in June of last year and has not made the major league roster since. That's why, Roman Anthony is now a 200 hitter hitting at the top of your lineup. That is kind of the thesis that they have come to, and that Chad Tracy, the Chad Sox, the AAA manager, is a guy who's worked with them in the past, and so he's going to be the one to right the ship. We'll obviously see on that part, but this is, I think, a fascinating look for the rest of Major League Baseball here, of how much control a GM can have in a given organization, to the point where it's basically his philosophy going out on the lineup card every night, and whether this Driveline thing can actually work, because so far the results are not good for the Red Sox once these prospects get to the major leagues. This will kind of be the tell-all to see if Craig Breslow was really right about that.
Cameron Stewart at the Cam Stewart from the Wicked Boston Show, joining the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. Cam, let's take it to the gridiron and Mike Vrabel. Here are a few headlines. Yahoo says Mike Vrabel, wife Jen, had emergency marriage meeting. Page 6, Diana Rossini and married Mike Vrabel caught kissing. Fox News, Jordan Hudson wants in on the Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini drama. And now Vrabel gets a standing ovation from Patriots season ticket holders. I saw the Yahoo headline, the rumors about Mike Tomlin being the head coach of the Patriots week 1 of the 2026 NFL season. And while that's absurd, what I don't think is absurd is the idea that Vrabel isn't the head coach of the Patriots in 2026. What are the odds we don't see him walking the sidelines?
Wait, why wouldn't he be? What happened? Did something happen with Mike Vrabel and maybe his wife?
He was kissing a lady.
Come on. Come on. We all kiss ladies, you know? They're just friends. Friends kissing for 6 years, man. I could see a scenario where he resigns. I could. I put it at a low likelihood just because, honestly, with this story, it's been a week and nothing more has come. So that's like that makes me think, well, like what else can we learn at this point? All right, you know, they've already like as soon as those pictures came out in Sedona, I was thinking, okay, he's probably been cheating on his wife for multiple years, and she's probably doing the same with her husband because they link all back to his early Tennessee days, and that's 8 years ago. So I'm thinking that was kind of my first thought, and then this all comes out, and I'm just not really surprised by it because of kind of the nature of that working relationship. Kind of dipping over into more than that is not too surprising to me. We've already had the internet theorize that one of her kids is actually Mike Vrabel's. So it's like how could this really get worse, in my opinion? So. I don't think he will resign. That's what it would be. It would be a resignation. I really don't think Bob Kraft is going to fire him. I think that if nothing else, Kraft just doesn't want to be embarrassed again and have to move on from a good coach, like the way he'd have to do with Bill Parcells and the way he didn't with Belichick, and that really eroded their relationship and eroded the franchise quite a bit in the last couple of years there. I think he's Bob Kraft's in his 80s. He just got close to winning another Super Bowl. He knows this is a coach who can get him there. I don't think he wants to be embarrassed again. So I think he's going to be the coach next year. I thought the standing O was an interesting move. I don't really understand that. I get supporting your guy, so to speak, but a standing ovation for what? Like his bravery, his heroism? I don't really get that, but I do think he'll be the Patriots head coach next year.
He got the Duran treatment in Boston, and what a welcome home for the son, Mike Vrabel, with a standing ovation, season ticket holders. Cam, before we get you out of here, to the ice and the court, Joel Embiid returning in this series against the Celtics. How does that change the face of this series, and what is the concern level going into Game 6 in Philadelphia?
Well, I like the Celtics in Game 6 tonight. I think for some reason, outside of that 24 championship team, they are not a good home playoff team. I can't understand it. And both teams that play there suck at home in the playoffs. But I think they're an excellent road team. I think they'll get it done tonight. But that said, Joel Embiid cooked them in Game 5 for maybe the first time in his career in the playoffs. Like, really cooked them. And that game, I think, sent a message to the rest of the league, and it's not a good one for the Celtics. There's two ways you can look at it. The first way is, statistically speaking, it was literally the worst half of basketball they played the whole season. 174 halves of basketball this year, and it was the worst net rating they had of any of the 174. So like that, and they were outscored obviously 28-11 in the fourth quarter. Like sometime, and they missed the last 14 shots of the game, Drake. No team had done that in the NBA playoffs to end a game in 21 years. So part of that you can just say, man, it just wasn't their night. It just wasn't. The other way you can look at this, the way I'm looking at this cynically, when you look at the whole game and you see Joel Embiid cooked him with 33 points and only had 4 rebounds in the game and was the best player, is this, I can't believe I'm saying this, at the NBA in 2026 with a team that, hucks up like 30 or 43 a game and the way the game is played. But I think their center play is what's going to kill them. I really do. I think if they don't make the NBA Finals, it's because they can't defend elite centers, elite post guys. Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, and Nikola Vucevic is not a good enough defensive rotation, clearly. Queta is the guy that is the best defensively, that can hang with Joel Embiid to a certain respect. But here's a stat for you. Neemias Queta has played the 89th most minutes in the NBA playoffs, and nobody has committed more fouls than him. He can't go 2 possessions without committing a foul. He can't defend without fouling. And because he can't shoot, you put him on the offensive end, he's no threat at the three-point arc. He can't take Joel Embiid out of those driving lanes. He can't space the floor. So Embiid is just getting possessions off on defense, catches his breath, and then goes to work the other end down the floor. And that's where the Celtics have really been able to beat up Embiid in the past, especially with Al Horford. He's a guy you got to respect on the perimeter. And so you're pulling Embiid out of the only place where he's effective on the defensive end of the floor. And it's not going to get much easier because you're going to play the Knicks. If you advance at some point here, you're going to play the Knicks. And 4 games this year against New York, Karl Anthony Towns has 3 double-doubles against you. And Mitchell Robinson has been a thorn in your side, even though the numbers are not terrific against the Celtics. So if they can't find a way to guard elite centers, I think that is going to be their downfall. This team looks more like the 23 and 25 versions of Joe Mazzulla's Celtics than they do the 24 version that won the NBA title. So you couple it with a team that doesn't have a killer instinct to close out at home, which we've seen in the past, and one that can't guard elite centers and is not going to get offensive contributions from Derek White this postseason, apparently, then that could be the undoing of the Celtics.
Cam, I don't like to play this game usually, but $52 is it. That's the get-in price at the Garden on Friday, Sabres and Bruins. One sentence about how the city of Boston is approaching this Bruins 2026 Boston Bruins team.
Well, man, I mean, I might have to skip the party at my own house for my fiance's work friends if it's that cheap to get in. I will say this, man, like David Pastrnak called out the crowd after that Game 5 win. Like he said, we need you to be loud. We need you to be there. And that's sobering for the greatest hockey town in the United States. And it has been a pretty corporate crowd so far this series. I don't know if it's nerves, if it's, not expecting this team to blow it, but it has not been a raucous crowd for a team that took a year off from the playoffs, that no one around here really expected to be in the playoffs this year. I would have thought that would have made for a rowdy crowd. Now, I will say some of the other ticket prices for Game 3 and Game 4 were insane, and you couldn't get a good crowd in there. But, yeah, it has not been good enough. And it really hasn't been good enough the last couple of postseasons for the Bruins, and I even saw some people at the Celtics games were complaining. Now, those are expensive tickets as well. So it's a shame that we're probably not getting the best of the Boston sports fans in there. But look, it's a Friday night, 7:30. You clock out of work early. You get all lubed up, plenty of bars around the Garden to get ready for this game. It's a city that's excited about the team, but it is not translating into the building. And I'll be the first to admit that. And when they play on ESPN, you can't really hear it anyway. They love drowning out the crowd noise. But I might have to go. I might have to go on Friday and compare it to what you got to experience last night.
Cam, thanks for your time this morning on the Drake Toll Show, up early from the Wicked Boston Show, and best of luck living in Boston.
Well, thank you, Drake. Thank you. It's going to turn around soon, I promise.
It's always going to turn around. There he goes, at Real Cam Stewart on Twitter. When we return, the NHL last night, the NBA last night. Let's take you back to the highlights and the lowlights from a crazy playoff night in both leagues. This is the Drake Toll Show.
And NHL playoffs are heating up, and the NFL's ready to roll out its newest draft stars. The sports world isn't slowing down, and neither are we. It's the stories you care about. Westwood One Sports.
got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Touch yourself. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood, looking back at it, and surely those who are with us here in the YouTube stream, they're here the whole show. Damn, man, they are. I love reading their comments. I agree with a lot of them. I disagree with a lot of them. It's a fun dialogue to keep up with every day. And the community this show is building, I like a lot. I started the show today, and many people who are with us now in the third hour and closing up shop weren't here, but I was aggressive. I'd like to apologize. I was just loud and I was angry. I was angry. I went to the Mammoth game, the Knights Mammoth game last night. I was up until the wee hours of the day to see them go to double overtime in the latest game of the slate. You know what? What the hell? What are you talking about? What are you two saying? I called you out for this in the first segment. As you two giggle your asses off back there.
It's very angry.
You said you were angry, but I was also thinking, like, we have built a community, and it was kind of a break, like, kind of shown during that break, like, when we were playing music, Dancing My Blues Away. That's one of our listeners. That's our mom, and they're going to clown me if I say RMOM, because that's how I normally say him. Like, that's how a kind of community. Like, the people, if you listen to the show, if you're in a band, if you make music, send us music. We'll play it during the breaks. But we were laughing at you saying angry.
Rejoin.
Yeah, we were laughing at you saying angry.
I was frustrated by the Lakers and LeBron. I was frustrated by Aaron Rodgers earlier. I was not frustrated by this.
Curtis and Addie, 6'4", little child over here. He's angry.
I was a little sippy cup. Jeez. Was not angry by this. Third period. Hat trick. The Golden Knights tied the game 4-4 inside of a minute to go. Let's go to overtime.
The third, Vegas trailing by one. Theodore across, Eichel shot, save, rebound, score! Dorofeev!
Enters, and it's Eichel with the shot, and right on the spot it's Dorofeev, his third of the night.
Jack Eichel with a shooting mentality. Riley Smith occupying space in a defender. Pavel Dorofeev becoming...
Dorofeev. A lot of folks lost hats in that moment, throwing them on the ice. A hat trick for Pavel Dorofeev. And then Brett Howden. Just listen to this. You'll hear me in the background going, yes! A winner in overtime for Vegas to take a 3-2 series lead from Brett Howden.
Seconds left on this Utah power play. Vegas off ice, an aggressive stance. Steal by Howden. Scores! Brett Howden, shorthanded in double overtime.
Sound the horns. Vegas wins it. Philly knocked off Pittsburgh last night, wins the series 4-2, and in the NBA. The Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham and Paolo Banchero, back and forth. And late in the fourth quarter, both of them hit 45 points in the game at the same time.
Get it in, Banchero. He fires. Nylon! Oh, my gosh. 6 made threes, 45 points.
6 to shoot. Cunningham shake and bake. Cunningham fires. Oh, yeah!
Iron Eagle giving you the business. And last night, Detroit, who was down 3-1 in the series, climbs back, makes it 3-2. Tonight in the NBA, the Knicks and the Hawks at 7 o'clock Eastern. Celtics, 76ers at 8 o'clock, and at 9:30, the Nuggets and the T-Wolves. The Knicks can end the series. The Celtics can end the series. The T-Wolves can end the series. Knicks and Celtics would have to win on the road. The Timberwolves play the Nuggets at home, but no Anthony Edwards. And that is obviously a problem. And in the NHL, after the Canadiens beat the Lightning, Flyers over the Penguins, that dope game in Vegas, tonight Stars and Wild, the Stars down 3-2, play in Minnesota And the Oilers and the Ducks, Anaheim leads the series 3-2. Will we go to Game 7 in either of those contests? Stars versus Wild, Oilers versus Ducks. This time tomorrow, we will know. And on the Drake Toll Show, we will certainly break it down for you. I'm being told in my ear by our producer, Addie Bates, that it is time. It is Thursday. For Are You Smarter Than Drake Toll? Addie, are you ready?
All righty. Curtis and Drake, are you ready? All right.
I'm going to wipe the floor with him.
Oh, okay. What's the first category, Curtis?
History.
Ooh.
History.
Which founding father is known for his large signature on the United States Declaration of Independence?
John Hancock?
Who? Drake, what do you think?
I mean, it is John Hancock. So
But Curtis got it first, so Curtis, that's 1 point for Curtis.
Music.
Which rock opera did The Who compose?
What? Rock
Yes.
opera?
Yes, it's so easy.
Curtis?
Yeah, no clue.
Baba O'Reilly.
Tommy.
Never. Didn't The Who do that thing with that girl?
The Pete Townsend did that thing with some minors.
Oh. I
Random.
keep telling people don't do that. Random.
Oh, Curtis, there's a bee outside my window right now.
Oh,
I
yes.
I have to focus. What supervillain once broke Batman's back, leaving him crippled and wheelchair bound?
It sounds like something Bane would do. I don't know.
What do you think, Drake?
I don't know anything about Batman.
Is this because, what's his name that was Superman had that accident with a horse and was paralyzed, right? So is that what they made is that where this came from?
No, it's a very famous picture from the comics. It's literally Bane with Batman.
Oh.
Yeah, so Curtis gets that point. Curtis gets the
It's
point.
completely guessed, too. I had no clue.
What's the next category?
Science.
Which type of chemical bond is the strongest? Drake, are you looking it up?
No, I'm seeing who that Superman was.
Oh,
Or did you say Batman?
I said Batman.
Oh, my bad. R.I.P.
The answer is ionic bond, by the way.
Curtis!
What?
Curtis got it correct.
Christopher Reeve. I was looking for Christopher Reeve. But
Yes.
all right, next.
Yes. Okay, final category.
Movies.
What movie
Movies.
popularized the phrase,
Stop.
show me the money?
Jerry Maguire. Correct.
You just got your ass kicked by Curtis. Oh my god.
We didn't even
Not
have to
only
do a
does he get to
5-point thing this time. You just actually got wrecked.
Big gooner.
Not only does Curtis get to answer first every time, I knew the answer to one of those.
Curtis is...
Like, this is fair and square. And I was taking shots from the front and the back. He was in his bag today. He got revenge. Wow. Crunch Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces. Arnon Williams, Colin Jones, Bruce Gilbert, and Ryan McGuire gave me a job once upon a time. And it led to this, huh? We'll see you tomorrow on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Have a great day. You Better You Bet is coming up next. This has been, and it always will be, The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One